Kwame Nkrumah has an organizational ability. The positive action is a great milestone in the political history development of this nation. There was complete chaos in the country.
Wow.
The big six, that the leadership of the UGCC, including Kwame Nkrumah, J.B. Dankwa, and the rest, they were arrested.
We welcome you to HistoLife TV. On this channel, we talk about history of Ghana, and then Africa at large. My name is Michael Fiado, and I'm your host for today's discussion. Today, it wouldn't be an interview, it will be a discussion. Why I say a discussion? Because I have here with me Mr. John Alagba. If you haven't watched our first video, our previous video, check up here. It will be up there. I'll put it somewhere up there. You check it, or it will be in the description of this video so that you go and watch it. He made a brief introduction about himself the other time, and then he's very endowed in history. He's very endowed in Ghanaian history and then African history. So I have him here today, and then we are going to have a quick discussion. Welcome to the show, Mr. Alagba.
Thank you.
You've done a little introduction before, but I would still like you to introduce yourself once again, a quick introduction, so that our new viewers will also get to know who you are.
Okay. As you know, my name is John Alagba, as you have mentioned already, and I told you the other day I'm a teacher. I was a teacher by profession, a trained teacher, as far back in 1969. Yes. And then I happened to rise through the rank to do the senior teacher, and then I got involved in politics. I'm a politician as well.
Well, good. Very good. So I'll say that is a brief introduction about yourself. Very good. And I've been having quite some discussions with you, and then while we were having the discussion, a topic popped up, and I found an interest in it, and I would like you to share with our viewers. You said something about the positive action, and I found a very good interest in it. I would like you to enlighten us about the positive action.
Okay. The positive action is a great milestone in the political history development of this nation. Good. And in fact, it's the action or the event that actually made Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah very, very popular from the onset of political agitation. As you all know, the 1940s through to 1950s, the mood of the nation was to end colonial rule. That was the mood of the nation. Okay. From both perspectives, the UGCC, the Nkrumah group, everybody was fighting for an end to colonial rule. But okay, as to the tactics to use to end it was the difference between them. Okay. Now the positive action of 1950, January 1950, declared by Kwame Nkrumah, was a sit-down strike. Okay. Positive action was a sit-down strike. Okay. Conceived. It was an idea conceived by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in collaboration with CPP leadership. Okay. And as it is, the CPP was well organized down to the people. He was
still the leader of CPP.
CPP. Right? Kwame Nkrumah broke from the UGCC. Okay. Yes, in 1949. Okay. I don't want to delve into that, but there was disagreement.
We'll get there later.
Yes. So he broke from the CPP, from the UGCC. Okay. And then with large following, he formed the Convention People's Party in 1949. Great. So he became the leader of that party. Okay. He was no more moving in the UGCC. Yeah. So what happened was, because they were all agitating for independence and end to colonial rule, he conceived the idea of positive action. He was a very dynamic and radical person. His outlook in politics is radicalism, yes, as opposed to convertism by the UGCC element. Yeah. So he was actually moving with the masses.
Okay.
So what happened was, he said there must be a sit-down strike by workers, all workers across the country, as well as boycott of European, British or European goods, because they were either too costly, very costly. People could not buy them and the rest, purchase them and the rest. And then also the strike was also a non-cooperation, no compliance with colonial authorities. The people of the Gold Coast, the workers, nobody should cooperate with the colonial authorities. That was this the positive action. Firstly, strike, sit-down strike. Sit-down strike by all workers. And then boycott of European or British goods. Thirdly, non-cooperation with the colonial authorities. It was meant to be non-violent.
But resisting the colonial masters like that, didn't it cause any kind of confusion or a war or anything?
And that was the confusion, because if people refuse to come to work, in the colonial administration offices and the rest, you don't get your people, your workers and the rest. You know, that will give you a psychological world trouble and the rest. So there was confusion in the country. Nobody knew what was happening. And as I told you, the CPP was well organized, down to the grassroots, every nook and cranny, every part of the country, as opposed to the elite groups in the of the UGCC in the urban areas. So the strike went down to the very level, the low level of the society. So that's the positive action.
That's good. That's good. But was it a secret kind of thing?
No.
It wasn't secret.
It wasn't secret, because
he made it open.
He toured the whole country. Kwame Nkrumah has an organizational ability.
I feel like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had a very good heart, you know. He really resisted the colonial masters, and then he was very strong with it. But while we were still discussing earlier on, you also said the 28th February riots. You talked about the 28th February riots. I would like you to give a little insight about that also to our viewers.
The 1948 28th February riot came as a result of economic hardships in the country. As a result of the aftermath of the Second World War, which made consumer goods to be scarce on the market. You know, the war was actually, there was much concentration on the war. So
there was actually a war.
World War, Second World War.
The Second World War.
Second World War.
That was in the Second World War.
Second War, 1945, 1939 to 1945. So and the war ended in 1945. So these ex-servicemen, if my brain served me well, I read there were about 64,000. Yes, who returned to the country from the war front. Some some amputated and all sort of things. You see, and the colonial government or the colonial authorities could not satisfy them by paying them their legitimate war entitlements. And so there was agitation. Then, because they didn't have any political authority to press home their demands. So what really happened was, when the UGCC was formed in 1947, Kwame Nkrumah arrived, the Kwame Nkrumah leadership talking all over the country. There became a link, or there was a link between them, their servicemen, the people in general, the economic hardships and all those things. So 28th February, the people embarked upon looting of European shops, goods, as a result of the hardships. And then the soldiers also chipped in by sending a deputation to the castle
Okay.
And then they were prevented.
Okay.
And there was shooting at the 21st February, the crossroad also, 21st February road. And then Sergeant Ajete and the others were killed, injured, and then killed.
Wow, wow, wow.
And when that thing happened, there was complete chaos in the country.
Wow.
The big six, that the leadership of the UGCC, including Kwame Nkrumah, JB Dankwa, and the rest, they were arrested immediately.
Okay, so that was the first arrest.
The first arrest.
Okay. Okay.
And the leadership of the UGCC, all of them blamed Kwame Nkrumah for the riot because of his radicalism.
Wow.
Yes.
Why would they blame him? Because I don't know. He was just trying to bring something positive.
And you know, the UGC leadership actually was made up of elites, lawyers in particular, and they are very conservative type of people.
Okay.
They wouldn't like things to be done rashly.
Okay.
But Kwame Nkrumah, with his American background, you know, when he was in America, he was already involved in this Negro politics.
Yes,
but and he was actually fighting the whites on their own ground before he came down. So with that radicalism within him, he actually didn't like colonial rule. And then when he came, he was somebody who can endear himself to the masses, the common people. The UGCC, elites, JB Dankwa, and the rest. Not that they were arrogant, but they found it very difficult to mingle with the masses. And you know the masses, so Kwame Nkrumah could mingle with everybody.
So
when,
they love him. For him.
So when they saw him like that, so this is the man.
Yeah, exactly.
So every planning against the colonial the authorities, he was involved. And then, mind you, the leadership was aware. So they were advising him not to go to certain lengths. So when it happened and they were arrested, automatically they have to blame him.
I get the point. I get the point.
Yeah.
So how did they come out of prison since they were arrested?
Yes, the agitation, as I told you, led to the setting of the Watson Commission by the British government.
Watson Commission,
by the British government itself, that British Parliament, set up the Watson Commission to probe into the reasons why the riot occurred. Fortunately, the commission upheld most of the demands of the organizers, of the agitators. First of all, they said the ex-servicemen had legitimate reason for asking for compensation and all those things. So it was not wrong for them to make to send a petition to the governor. Secondly, the people had the right to complain about their economic hardships. Because nothing was being done about the hardships. The goods were costly, European goods were costly, while the locally produced goods were cheaper, very cheap. The Europeans feel the price they like and purchase them.
It's rather unfortunate our time is up, and we will bring a part 2 of this conversation or discussion next week. And then in the part 2, we'll be discussing the success of the Watson Commission, and then how it led Dr. Kwame Nkrumah into becoming the Prime Minister of Ghana back then. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for sticking and staying with us. Consider subscribing to the channel Histolife TV. Comment in the comment section, share the videos, and then share your thoughts with us. Basically, you know, we will grow with your thoughts. So share your thoughts with us. Whatever you think we can improve on, just share with us, and we will do well to improve on them. Thank you very much for your time. Stick and stay. See you next time. Bye bye.